Dipsy's hat. Dipsy's hat. Fancy that. It's Dipsy's hat. Dipsy's hat. Fancy that. Dipsy, Dipsy, come along. We're all waiting for your song. Do not worry, you can't go wrong. We're excited for your song. Dipsy's walking with his hat on, very proudly into view. If you had a hat like that on, you'd be walking proudly too. Hat, 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 hat. Hat, 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 hat. Dipsy's walking with his hat on a windy day. Be careful, Dipsy. Hats like that are likely to blow away. Dipsy's walking with his hat on, very proudly into view. If you had a hat like that on, you'd be walking proudly too. Hat, 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 hat. Hat, 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 hat. Hat, 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 hat.